number 19, we say, universal acceptance of scientific theories that regard human beings only as natural objects subject to natural forces outside the individual's control will inevitably lead to a general decline in morality. Whoa, I had to read that twice when I read this the first time. And I'm like, okay, so whenever we accept these theories that say like human beings are just subject to like everything is outside their control, is going to lead to a decline in morality. After all, if people do not believe that they are responsible for their actions, they will feel unashamed when they act immorally. And a widespread failure of individuals to feel ashamed of their immoral actions is bound to lead to a general moral decline. All right, so essentially, like, if we accept this idea that people are out, like, only things outside of our control, like, we just are regarded to things outside our control, we're not going to believe that we're responsible for our actions, so we'll feel unashamed, and if we feel unashamed, that's what leads to the decline. So our conclusion is this first sentence, right? And did you like this conclusion, Emily?
It made sense.
Did you think it was valid?
I mean, no, but I wasn't sure because when it gets super wordy,
I agree.
Kind of confuses.
I agree. I had to go slow on this one. So where is the gap between our premises and our conclusion? So let's dive into our conclusion. What does our premise say here? Sabrina, like what is our if? So we're saying if what?
We're saying if people do not believe they're responsible for their actions, they'll feel unashamed. I guess the gap is we're talking about how there's natural forces that are outside our control, and now we're just, I don't know, we're talking about people not being responsible for their actions.
Excellent. So our premise here says that if people do not believe they are responsible, they'll feel unashamed, and that's what leads to immoral actions, which leads to moral decline. Our conclusion says that if human beings are just going to go, if we believe this, human beings are just going to go to a general decline. What do we have to say is true about human beings in order to guarantee this conclusion, Anna? Because right now we're just at like human being, like this theory or human beings to moral decline.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not paying attention.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Jillian, what do you think? What do we need to be true about the humans to start this whole chain?
Subject to natural forces.
That's in our conclusion, but what needs to trigger this whole chain here?
Believe that they're responsible.
Yeah, do we know right now that if people believe this, they don't believe they're responsible? No. So my prediction was that if human beings feel like things are outside their control, they must not believe they're responsible. And I believe everybody got C for this one, right? Right, no, not C, sorry. Human beings who scientists do not. B. Human beings who regard themselves only as natural objects will, as a result, lose their sense of responsibility. Because don't we need that to be true in order to trigger this conclusion? Because that's what starts this whole chain of reaction over here. Did that make sense for everybody? So Jillian, you got it right.
Yeah, it took me a really long time though. I don't think I truly understand it like 100%, but I can speak a bit.
So human beings only regard them so human beings that only regard themselves as natural objects. So if we believe that we are only natural objects, that will result in us losing their sense of responsibility for the action. So I'm just going to do BR to match. So, and if that's true, that triggers all of this. So you took one of our premises and connected it, or took one of the facts in our conclusion, which is human beings as natural objects, and you connected it to our premise, which is perfect. All right, and then lastly, for 16, I'm going to go ahead and give the